Welcome to Feedstuffs and Beef Magazine. I'm Ann Hess. Joining us from CattleCon 2026 in Nashville is Dr. Zachary Carlson, Technical Services Manager, Ruminants for IFF North America. Welcome and thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So, for those who are not familiar with IFF, give us some background on your company and its role within the cattle industry.
So IFF has been innovating feed additive technologies for the past 35 years. And really our space, our focus, is in the rumen and gut health, as well as improving nutrient digestibilities in the diets.
So, Betafin, you're talking about that here this week. Folks who are new to it, what is it? What makes it different from other betaine sources?
So, Betafin is a natural betaine source that's derived from the process of sugar beet harvest. And so, processing those sugar beets, and then from that, we've invested a lot of research into Betafin and its benefits. And so, what Betafin is a unique molecule that has two functions. It operates as a methyl group donor, which helps with basic metabolic functions within the body, and it acts as an osmolyte, which is rather interesting because given its unique molecular structure, it has a positive and a negative charge, which makes it very attracted to water. And so essentially what Betafin does is it helps cellular tissue take in water and hold water. And in that sense, that allows for when cells are better hydrated and don't have to spend additional energy on pulling in water and things like that, there's a energy lift to that animal in that sense, and allowing that animal to stay better hydrated.
So let's talk about that cellular hydration. Why should producers and nutritionists care about that, especially in cattle under stress?
Yeah, so when we think about any segment of our industry, there's a lot of stressors, right? And so cattle go through all kinds of stress, commingling at the sales barn, diet transitions, long hauls to the feed yard. We think about even transportation to the packing plant, as well as heat stress, right? It being a big one in that sense. And so when we can allow those cells to stay better hydrated through that osmolyte effect of Betafin, that helps the animal be more prepared to deal with those stressors. And an animal more prepared to deal with that stress and handle that situation, they're more likely to be able to recover faster, and that resilience builds up over time.
So bottom line for producers, how does Betafin show up where it counts for the feedlot?
Yeah, so the function there, as I've been talking about, right, with water balance, and as we look at our industry, we're expected to produce more with less every year, right? We see carcass weights increasing year over year. The demand for maintaining profitability is efficiencies in that sense. And so when we think about how Betafin plays into that, there's as I was talking about, a big lift on the energy required to maintain hydration in those animals. And so when those cells are hydrated, that animal is hydrated, they're better able to deal with that stress. And so our research on this and looking at it has benefits outside of just maintaining hydration. As we think about being the industry needing to continue demand for beef and beef production, if we think about muscle tissue, right, and for every pound of gain, right, a proportion of that is muscle. Muscle is about 75% water. And so if we can work at that cellular level to help maintain water balance in that animal, we can, that perfectly aligns with where the industry is headed in that sense. Apart from that, though, our research has showed that with supplementation of Betafin, in finishing diets, we can increase hot carcass weight, dressing percent, and even change the quality grade depending on the supplementation strategy. And so another part that's pretty critical, and we see this across our company with the use of Betafin, is decreasing drip loss at the packing plant. And so drip loss would be, days after the animal is harvested, water is retained in that carcass. And so again, highlighting that cellular level activity.
Zachary Carlson, IFF, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your insight.
Thank you very much.
For more coverage and conversations from CattleCon 2026, be sure to check out the Feedstuffs and Beef websites as well as our social media channels. For Feedstuffs and Beef Magazine,